After my visit to Ann Stanton's apartment that morning in late May, I was out of town for a while, about 8 days. I left her apartment that morning and went down to the bank and drew out some money, and got my car out of the garage, and packed a bag, and was headed out. I was headed down a long, bone-white road, straight as a string and smooth as glass and glittering and wavering in the heat and humming under the tires like a plucked nerve. I was doing 75, but I never seemed to catch up with the pool, which seemed to be over the road just this side of the horizon. Then, after a while, the sun was in my eyes, for I was driving west. So I pulled the sunscreen down and squinted and put the throttle to the floor, and kept on moving west. For west is where we all plan to go someday. It is where you go when the land gives out and the old field pines encroach. It is where you go when you get the letter saying, "Flee, all is discovered." It is where you go when you look down at the blade in your hand and see the blood on it. It is where you go when you are told that you are a bubble on the tide of empire. It is where you go when you hear that there's gold in them there hills. It is where you go to grow up with the country. It is where you go to spend your old age. Or it is just where you go. It was just where I went. The second day I was in Texas. I was traveling through the part where the flat-footed, bilious, frog-sticker-toting Baptist biscuit-eaters live. Then I was traveling through the part where the crook-legged, high-heeled, gun-wearing, spick-killing, callous-rumped sons of the range live, and crowd the drugstore on Saturday night, and then all go round the corner to see Episode 3 of Vengeance on Vinegar Creek, starring Gene Autry as Borax Pete. But over both parts, the sky was tall, hot brass by day and black velvet by night, and Coca-Cola is all a man needs to live on. Then I was traveling through New Mexico, which is a land of total and magnificent emptiness, with a little white filling station flung down on the sand like a sun-bleached cow skull by the trail, and far to the north a valiant remnant of the heroes of the Battle of Montmartre, in the last bivouac, wearing huaraches and hammered silver, and trying to strike up conversation with Hopis on street corners. Then Arizona, which is grandeur and the slow, incredulous stare of sheep, until you hit the Mojave. You cross the Mojave at night, and even at night your breath rasps your gullet, as though you were a sword swallower who had got hold of a hacksaw blade by mistake, and in the darkness the hunched rock and towering cactus loom at you with the shapes of a visceral Freudian nightmare. Then California. Then Long Beach, which is the essence of California. I know, because I've never seen any of California except Long Beach, and so I am not distracted by competing claims.